On today's show, Barry and I will be talking about the Sacramento Kings' potential three-guard lineup featuring De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Haliburton, and newcomer Davion Mitchell. Is this the lineup of the future for the Kings? We'll find out after this.
Welcome to Royal Rebounds TV with Calvin and Barry. Just two crazy fans of the Sacramento Kings, and they sharing their opinion. So be sure that you subscribe. It's for the fans, by the fans. Whether you chilling on the couch or wilding in the stands.
What up, guys? Welcome back to Royal Rebounds TV, your favorite Sacramento Kings YouTube channel. This is the Royal Rebounds Podcast with Calvin and Barry, a laid-back discussion about your Sacramento Kings. All right, Calvin, what are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking the celebrated oatmeal stout from Sam Smith Old Brewery, the oldest brewery in Yorkshire. It's like breakfast in glass.
It is. You don't ever think oatmeal and beer would go together, but somehow it works. All right, so today's topic, we are talking about the three-guard lineup in Sacramento. Everyone's been raving about Davion Mitchell and the potential fit between him, Tyrese Haliburton, and De'Aaron Fox. There's also been critics, though. They talk about the size, whether it can work. I know the most famous three-guard lineup that we've seen recently would be that of the Houston Rockets with Chris Paul, James Harden, Eric Gordon. I know they had a ton of success. We did see a three-guard lineup partially last year with Corey Joseph, De'Aaron Fox, and Tyrese Haliburton closing out some games. So I guess my first question for you, Calvin, is when do you think we'll potentially see this lineup?
I think you'll see it from day one. I'm not sure how long or how many minutes those three will get together, at least right from the get-go of the season, but I think there's 100% chance that you see it day one. I think this is something that the Kings have been fantasizing over for a while now, ever since Davion was available to them at number 9. I think Coach Walton is really excited about the potential of this lineup defensively and offensively, and I think it just makes sense. You've drafted two guys in the last 2 years in the top 12 picks. They both happen to be guards. It's a very guard-heavy lineup, but more importantly, it's all about defense, right? Mm-hmm. The number one focus in this offseason has been how can we get better defensively? And if you believe that Davion Mitchell is as good of a defender as he is, which I think pretty much everybody within the Kings organization does, that's all they seem to be talking about ever since he's gotten into camp is his defensive intensity. And they keep going back to the fact that he guarded bigger guys in college. That was a good measuring stick for the Kings, or a good enough reason for them to pull the trigger on him. So I would expect to see this lineup right away.
Yeah, I agree with you. And by right away, my criteria for that is probably within the first 3 or 4 games. Because I
think game one.
Really? Game one?
I think game one you will see it. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I guess we're not going to have to wait long then for the excitement of seeing that.
Again, I don't know how long, and I'm not saying that those are going to be the guys to close the game out, but I think you're going to see it. With as much as Corey Joseph played alongside Haliburton and Fox last year, Davion Mitchell's an upgrade from Corey Joseph in just about every way. So I think you're going to see it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see that. And another topic of discussion on this three-guard lineup is size, right? We all know that Tyrese Haliburton is probably the tallest of the three, a little bit lankier, even though he's gained some weight this offseason, or he's gotten fat, as De'Aaron Fox would say. De'Aaron Fox is probably the second tallest. And then Davion, I know he's listed at 6'2", but he's coming in closer to 6 feet.
Probably more around 6 feet.
But he's so strong. And we've seen him, like you mentioned, guard Cade Cunningham, 6'8". We saw him guard James Bouknight, 6'5", and he did a wonderful job against both of those guys. Mm-hmm. So I don't really see him guarding, 4s or 5s. Maybe not yet. What do you think the potential lineup? Who will be the true point guard on this team? Or I guess more on the defensive end, who will be guarding the point guard? Who will be guarding the shooting guard? And who do you think will be guarding these small forwards?
That's a very good point. Because of Davion's ability to guard bigger players, I think that gives the Kings a ton of flexibility here, because I believe that De'Aaron Fox can guard a lot of two guards in this league. I think Tyrese Haliburton can guard a lot of two guards in this league as well. So I think it's going to be a night-by-night basis, matchup dependent. Even within the game, they might switch their primary defender between those three. It's really going to be dependent on who the Kings are playing on that given night. But I also feel like having guys that are so good defensively, like Davion Mitchell, gives you the opportunity to say, okay, we've been playing him on whoever it is, the other team's point guard, but such and such player is killing us. James Bouknight or whoever it is on that given night is killing us. Let's switch Davion onto him and see how he does, see if he can take some of the heat off. I think there's a ton of flexibility here. They can also switch, screens at ease, at will, really. So there's just a lot of potential for this. I think Davion Mitchell is going to earn a reputation of lockdown defender from a pretty early standpoint in this season, and you could see him guarding a wide range of players, which is only going to make things easier for Fox and Haliburton. I really think Haliburton is going to be best off on probably the third primary scorer just because he's such a good off-ball defender that you want him waiting in the wings while Fox and Mitchell are the guys that are right in the shorts of the opponent offensively.
We all know how bad the Kings were at defense last year, and De'Aaron Fox was probably their best defender, maybe man-to-man defender, on-ball defender. Do you think Davion Mitchell is officially the Kings' best defender before he's even played a single game?
I won't say that yet, but we're talking about a guy who, defense is more mental and more attitude than it is anything else. Obviously, athletic ability helps, but you have to have the determination and the willpower to be a great defensive player. And I see that in spades from him. That is what takes you from being a good defender on a team to the team's best defender, is having that willpower, that attitude that you're going to shut down whoever it is you're guarding, it doesn't matter who, on any given night. So he could very well step into that role soon.
And we all know defense is contagious.
Yes.
So an addition of a guy like that, of that caliber, I know we haven't seen him officially play, but once he steps it up, hopefully other guys will pick it up along the way as well. But I think we want to dive into the question that we all want to know the answer to. Calvin, do you think this three-guard lineup will be successful, one? And two, is this the future of the Sacramento Kings?
Man, those are tough questions to answer. You have to define what successful is going to be, first of all. I think that this lineup can absolutely be successful. I don't know necessarily if it's going to be something. I think you're going to have to pick and choose your battles with this sort of thing. I don't know if playing against the Lakers, this is going to be the lineup that you run out for 35 minutes a game or a night, because the Lakers have so much size at every position, and you leave Harrison Barnes, who is probably going to be the forward in this equation, right? You leave him in a very difficult spot having to guard Anthony Davis all night, even though the Kings put him on Anthony Davis a lot last year. But so I do think that this lineup will be successful. I think it's going to propel defensive awareness and attitude across the whole board for the Kings. And, we've been talking all night about defense. I'm actually curious to see what this does on offense, this lineup, because it's not like Davion Mitchell is a scrub offensively. This guy can score, he can shoot, he can get to the basket. And so now we're going to say to the other team, all right, we've got three guards who can pretty much get to the basket at will. Who are you going to guard? Who's the defensive assignment for the other team? So I think that's an important piece of this equation that maybe isn't getting talked about a lot. But is it the lineup of the future? I think Luke Walton and Monty McNair hope it is. I really do, because not to say they've put all their eggs in this basket, but when you draft these guys this high and there's a lot of expectation, these are the young guys on the team. This is the future of the franchise. So I think they hope that it is.
Yeah, I think it's a little early to make those kind of assumptions or estimations. But my concern, as a lot of people are concerned, is the size of these 3-guard lineup and whether that can transition to winning in the playoffs, which obviously the Kings haven't made the playoffs in 15 years, so that's not a major concern for them. But just like I mentioned earlier, that Rockets lineup, that team, the style of play was great for the regular season, and it broke down in the playoffs. Not that that's something that the Kings need to be worried about at this point.
Yeah.
But maybe this 3-guard lineup will propel us to the playoffs, and then some changes need to be made to build.
Well, and winning in the playoffs is based on adjustments. It's based on matchups and based on adjustments. On an in-game series level, series to series level, game by game. So, I think you're totally right. This lineup could definitely help get them to the playoffs, and it could play a big role in specific playoff games or specific playoff moments. But you have to adjust on the fly pretty much constantly in order to win any playoff series. So it's not like you can say, well, we're just going to roll this lineup out and we're going to win, or whatever happens.
All right, so those are our thoughts on the 3-guard lineup and what to expect from your Sacramento Kings and these 3 guards this upcoming season. We'd love to hear from you all. Please let us know down below in the comments how you feel this 3-guard lineup will do and whether you think it will affect Marvin Bagley and what we can expect out of him playing with this lineup.
Yeah, the Kings start the preseason on Monday. They take on the Phoenix Suns. It'll be the first opportunity to watch our brand new Sacramento Kings for this upcoming season. Join us after the game for another episode of the Royal Rebounds Podcast.
Thank you all. And in the meantime, go Kings.
Go Kings.